personal. We're probably blaming the other person. And when we're blaming the other person, our first reaction is to hit them with poison, which is our word. You see how that vicious cycle goes? He says they're all working together. Not so good when it happens that way. So we need to break that cycle. He also says that our human minds are very, very fascinating because we have the need. If we don't understand something, we have the need to explain it. We have the need to justify it. We have the need to understand it. And if somebody is not forthcoming with what they mean, we fill in the blanks because human nature doesn't like the unknown. Sometimes, have you noticed that the answer in your head, which may be erroneous, is sometimes better than no answer at all? And what he says, the reason that happens is because it makes us feel safer. Ouch, again. It makes us feel safer if we have some answer, even if we've made it up, rather than to sit there with, I don't know what that meant. Wow. This whole book, I mean, I've read it like 3 times, but each time I get a little bit deeper. No answer, so I'm going to make it up just so I can feel safe. Wow. So there's a whole other talk about living in the unknown. We'll do that another day. He says, making assumptions in significant relationships, marriages, partnerships is especially deadly. Anybody relate? If you're making up assumptions, if you're figuring out, trying to make up that story about what your partner means, he said that's especially deadly. You know, when somebody says, well, you should have known. Of course that's what I want, you should have known. No, there's not very many things. So there are some healthy assumptions. Okay, so I was thinking about this morning. Am I? All right. So a healthy assumption would be, Becky can assume that I want cream in my coffee today, just like I've had for every morning for 15 years. She can make that assumption. That's a good assumption. I do want cream in my coffee every morning. That kind of assumption is not what we're talking about.
Right.
Those are okay. You that have been married for a long time, you know, you can make an assumption. This is the way he or she wants clothes put away. Or here's something. All right, those are okay. But we're talking really about the communication piece. How we communicate, how we offer clarity or not. That's what he's talking about. Don't make that stuff up. It just gets us in trouble. I can't tell you how many times I've counseled couples, and a lot of times what it comes right down to is a misunderstanding of what a word or a phrase meant. And you can see the light come on in the people's eyes when they go, that's all it was? We've been arguing about this for months, and it was about what that word meant to you or what that phrase meant to you. Aha. So by not making assumptions, you can avoid that right there. It can apply to any relationships, but he happened to talk about in this particular point about the significant other relationships. Make the assumptions there. So if we're making assumptions, it means we're sort of doing this thing that says, well, you won't see life the way I do, right? You all like the same things I do. You all feel the exact same way I do, right? No. Maybe in this room, but, you know, no, not even in this room. We don't all see life the same way. We don't all perceive life the same way. We don't all feel the same way, and that's okay. That's okay. It's the way it is. People also don't make judgments the way we do. Oh, judgments? I don't make judgments. Sure we do. We all do. We assume that other people are making the same judgments, which is why it's hard to be ourselves. Let that settle for a minute. Oh. So if I'm afraid to show you part of me because I'm afraid you're going to judge me, is that me making that same judgment? It's worth looking at. It may or may not be. But if we want to change our lives, we've got to take inventory of all this stuff so we can move beyond all this stuff. All right. So thinking that everyone's just like us is kind of self-centered. Perhaps you have seen this phrase right here. You seen this one? Assuming makes an ass out of you and me is right there in that. I keep that tucked away, so when I find myself doing it, I think, well, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. Makes an ass out of you and me. I don't want to be an ass. You know why sometimes we're afraid to ask for clarity? The very human part of us that says, if I ask, it might make me vulnerable, but we're afraid to ask for clarity. And what I've learned over years is it's much better to just ask. Just ask for clarity. Offer clarity as well. Let it be on both sides, because sometimes people don't know what we mean. I look for the look. If I see somebody give that look, I think, oh, I think I need to offer clarity right here. Or if I've said something and I see somebody walk away and I sense that didn't land right, then I go back and I offer the clarity if I can. Sometimes we just don't know that we've accidentally pushed somebody else's button. But let's ask questions. Let's not be afraid. We need to ask it and we need to offer it on both sides. Offer ours. We also need to ask within ourselves, because sometimes we make assumptions about our own darn self. We make assumptions about our capabilities. We make assumptions about who we are. Ask. Always ask, whether we're asking ourselves, whether we're asking another, whether we're offering it. Be in the question. Be not always looking to make up the answer, but be in the question. It's all right. My parallel for this is a phrase that many of you have heard me say before. There's more going on than meets the eye. There's always more going on than meets the eye. That's my parallel. We don't often know what somebody else is going through. I was talking about this with one line just this morning. We offer compassion when we stop for a moment and say, wonder what that person might have, what are they going through in their life? So I gave him the example because he was asking Mary Falvey about compassion and how that fits in here. And I said to him, Ryan is Annalise's 15-year-old son. I thought, what a great thing that he's even asking. I said, Ryan, let's say you show up on church one morning, you're acting like a brat to me. I might think, well, why is he acting like a brat to me? In that moment, I can make an assumption that he's being a brat. I'm talking to him. I can make an assumption and I can be kind of back to me. Doesn't get us anywhere. Compassion is when I say to myself before I open my mouth, I wonder what Ryan had to go through this morning. Or I wonder what's going on in his life. Maybe something's going on at school. That's compassion. And he nodded. He got it. He understood that. I say that for all of us. If we can just pause for a minute. When somebody has done something that looks like we're going to take it personal, it's going to come at us, if we can pause for a minute and say, wait a minute, maybe this isn't about me. And then if we can open up our heart of compassion and say, I wonder what's going on with them. Don't make it up. Don't assume what's going on with them. It's just an openness. So that if we do ask them a question, we ask from an open place, not from a assuming place. Oh, you must be going through blah. No. Is there something going on that you would like to talk to me about? Or can you tell me what you meant when you said? We ask the questions then from a wide open place, not an assumptive place. Very powerful, very healing place. So it opens up that place of compassion. So I have a plan for us to not only look at all this stuff, but to kind of reverse it. What if we all had the intent for assuming good? What if we made that a plan? If we're going to do any assumptions at all, let's intend to assume the good. Human beings are wired from our limbic system back here to look for what's wrong. It's from our old days of fight or flight. It's back here, it's still hanging around. We have this, isn't that so much easier to find what's bad, what's wrong? Hey, you're probably doing that to me. Do you find that to be easy? Well, you don't have to admit it, but most people do. So to look for the good is a practice. Look for the good rather than looking for the bad. So I'm going to make that a plan. I'm going to intend the good rather than automatically thinking that what's going on with that person. Thinking that there's some bad intent. Let's assume good intent instead of bad intent. It brings me right back around to the I am. When I am secure in who I am, it is so much easier not to make assumptions. It is so much easier to have compassion. It is so much easier to look for and intend the good when I know who I am as a child of God.